the EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at the EPPodcast.com.
How many trick-or-treaters did you get in the blizzard? You get a lot of them?
None.
None?
Not even
You got
one.
no trick-or-treaters?
And they were out and about. They did not come to my house.
Your first year ever.
They did not come. I watched them with their parents. They're all bundled up, and they're going to every house. They get to the street. I'm on the last block of the street, and they see, the dead end sign. And I guess they thought, well, can't go down there.
And nothing.
No one came down.
And nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, my goodness.
I just sat there all sad looking out at the snow, just standing at my glass door with my forehead against the glass. Just
Worst Halloween
watching all
ever.
the little children turning away at the dead end sign. I'm like, wait.
Well, I thought it was really interesting here, and I'm going to tell you something. It was really controversial online when it happened, but I think it proved that sometimes people overreact. There was a decision made by the mayor on Thursday, on Halloween. He decided not to cancel it because, and I like that, because to me it's like, hey,
when you were a kid, you
I'm
went
going out in the snow.
Yeah.
It made perfect sense for my 13-year-old, my 11-year-old. They just bundled up.
Yeah.
They changed their costumes. Like one put on like my big giant goofy Chewbacca pajamas.
Yeah.
And put his coat on underneath it, and he was Chewbacca. It was
Yeah.
a goofy costume. And then my daughter had like footy Minnie Mouse pajamas that were given to her as almost like a gag gift. And she stuffed her winter jacket in underneath the thing. And they both went out trick-or-treating with their friends.
Yeah.
Because they're the right age for it. But my 4-year-old, he wanted to go out. He was dressed as Super Mario. We made it 6 houses.
Aw.
With a coat on underneath there because he had like a puffy costume
Yeah.
that he could get away with it. And he's like, I'm cold. I want to go home.
Aw.
And I felt bad for him. And when I was going to the houses that he stopped at, there's little kids at several of them that are dressed up and they're like, Mommy, why can't we go out? And the mom's like dealing with like kids that are like 3, 4, 5 years old.
So they're seeing other kids come to their door.
Can't go trick-or-treating because there's a blizzard going on outside. So I like the fact that we didn't cancel because I think Halloween in my America, Halloween happens on Halloween. But I thought it was nice that they were like, hey, Friday afternoon for 2 hours and Saturday afternoon for 2 hours. If you didn't get your little kid out there, get out there.
Yeah.
There were people all worried like, oh my God, they'll be busting people in from out of town and there'll be all these people knocking on my door. I had nobody show up during the extended hours. Nobody. Congratulations to the winner of our Halloween contest online. Okay, I'm going to give away the mother's Facebook name, then I found out what the real last name was. So she went under the name Michelle Nolan. It's actually the O'Malley family. They're from Evergreen Park. Their son Patrick dressed as Mr. Rogers.
It was so cute.
It was really good. But all 6 of the finalists were awesome, and there were some of them I didn't even fit in there. But it was really interesting story going on that I was able to see because I'm able to see all the shares. And in the end, there were 2 contestants that got really close. Fruit Loops and Mr. Rogers pulled away. And it was a battle throughout the entire voting process online. So we're sending a consolation prize to Fruit Loops, okay? Because I was like, that kid was so
worked
close.
her butt off, yeah.
So close, okay? But there was also a really interesting story about how the winner is donating his winnings to charity. He will be on the show with his mother next week on the EP podcast. We have a lot going on, so we're going to dive into it, Hannah. We have the folks from the food bank here, the Evergreen Park Food Bank, are on the program this week. Bill Sanderson, principal of Evergreen Park High School, is going to be in here because their entrance exam and their open house are coming up very, very soon. And we have a brand new member of the Chamber of Commerce that I'm going to introduce to everybody here in Evergreen Park. She's already done some really cool things, including the Halloween stroll, the first annual Halloween stroll that also had to happen in the blizzard on Thursday. That is all ahead here on the EP Podcast, found everywhere podcasts can be found and always at the EPPodcast.com. It is now time for your EP Word on the Street. This Friday, November the 8th, 7:30 in the morning, all Evergreen Park military veterans are invited to the Evergreen Park High School Cafe. The high school's National Honor Society is putting on a veterans breakfast. RSVP now. Call 708-398 1352. On Saturday, November 9th at 9:30 in the morning, the youth department is teaching kids the game of ping pong. You can register for that right now, 3220 West 98th Street. You also probably want to start planning for their annual family basketball turkey shoot. 4th, 5th, 6th graders and their parents or guardians invited Saturday, November the 23rd to the Activity Center at 3 p.m., $6 a team. The team would consist of a child and that adult, 10 free throws apiece. The team that hits nothing but net the most wins a 10 to 12 pound turkey just in time for Thanksgiving. Registration's open now. And if you're listening to the sound of my voice, bulk leaf pickup has begun. Fire those leaves into your street. That's your EP word on the street. And as the EP podcast rolls on, and my first guest sits down here at my 9-foot homemade oak bar in my basement, I want to tell you about a great event that's coming up. Our good friends over at Unidad Restaurant on November the 12th are teaming up with a brand new brewery called Casa Humilde. And they're going to be doing a 4-course dinner at Unidad with craft beer paired up with the courses. And it's only $40 plus tax and gratuity. And it's limited seating on Tuesday, November the 12th. I love my craft beer. I'm probably going to get there. Something to treat yourself to. Call them now, 708-529-0911. Limited seats available. Get yourself reserved right now for a night out in Evergreen Park. And if you are able to enjoy an evening like that, you're probably able to help out my next guest. John Dalkey is one of the fine people from the Evergreen Park Food Pantry. The Office of Citizen Services has the Evergreen Park Food Pantry. Where's it at, John?
It's at the corner of 98th and Washington. It's the old Howitt Fire Station.
Okay, yes, exactly now. All right, and John, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I appreciate you stopping by. 'Tis the season, John. It's the holiday season now when people think to themselves, I want to do something to help people before Thanksgiving, or I want to do something to help people for the holiday season. People get this charitable feeling this time of year, when in reality, you guys probably need the help year round, right?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't say it better. I mean, it's like we get inundated with donations, food donations during the holiday season. But then, after Easter, it slacks off a little bit, especially during the summer when people are on vacations. But, any time of year, any donations are very welcome.
Look, you're going to start getting phone calls constantly. I get robocalled for donate to this and donate to that and everything. But the same reason that we say keep the green and evergreen with the businesses, if you're going to help out, let's help out people here in Evergreen Park.
Yeah, I just don't think people realize that there's a need for support, for their fellow neighbors in Evergreen Park. We service anywhere between 120 and 140 families a year, a month.
And are these just Evergreen Park families?
They're only Evergreen Park residents. You
don't realize that because Evergreen Park feels like it's like one of those places where you don't have people that are going hungry. But
right.
That's a big problem across the entire country. And it doesn't matter what your house looks like. You may not have anything in the cupboards.
Right. Yeah. It's like anything, you should observe what's going on in your own neighborhood. But I could say that there's probably 2 or 3 families on every block that are in need.
So now this time of year, there's always an extra crunch. Because
Correct.
We're talking families, and we're talking
right.
people that have kids
right.
that are living here in Evergreen Park. Mm-hmm. These might be kids that are going to school with your kids.
Exactly.
And you're giving out a pretty big number of the amount of families that are reliant on this. So this is part of their every week routine.
Right.
Or when they're short that month or when they need it for a little bit. People lose their jobs. People are in bad situations.
Yeah, and a lot of it is elderly too, on fixed incomes, and they get the rent squeeze going where the rent goes up and they got to start looking for other avenues for getting food or paying
right.
for their medicine. So, and anything that we can give them at the food pantry is cash that they save for something else that they really need.
So what are the big drives now?
Well, I mean, the biggest drive that we have is the Holy Redeemer Fall Harvest, and that's coming up, I think it's the week before Thanksgiving this year.
Is this the one where they have people put out their food on their porch?
Yeah.
And the Redeemer kids and the Redeemer families run
Go
around
out and pick them up. It's
awesome.
And
you can do this all over Evergreen, right? Not just in their neighborhood?
I think they just do it in the Holy Redeemer Parish.
Really?
Yeah. It's a huge effort, and they do a great job. I mean, the volunteers are great. a couple of the families, the Harmons and the Malloys and the Morans, actually help us out several times during the year. Especially when the food depository truck comes in to help us unload. So we get a lot of support from that parish. But there's also all of the grammar schools and the Evergreen Park High School have food drives during the holidays, they're big too,
So if you have a kid that's going to one of those schools, pay attention, they might be having a food drive.
Exactly, right, yeah.
Okay. I would think this is a rough thing for somebody to go through.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I've lived in Evergreen Park now for 15 years. And I would say about 10 years ago, I lost my job and my wife lost hers within like a 3-month period. We had a 2.5-year-old and I had one that was on the way. Okay.
Yeah,
now they're 13 and 11 and they're like, it seems so long ago. Okay. And not only did I think I was going to lose the house, I was trying to figure out how I was going to feed everybody. And to be honest with you, I was too embarrassed to walk into the food pantry. So I imagine that this is difficult for anybody to walk into and do, but it's a necessity and they shouldn't feel that way when they have to use it. I would think that then you want to make sure that people are dropping off things that, make sure that it's not past the expiration date.
Correct,
Don't hand your junk that's sitting in the back.
Right.
If you're going to make a donation, make a real donation. Don't drop things off that you would never eat yourself.
Right.
Nobody wants to eat canned beets for 6 weeks. It's go. Give something of value. You can do it.
Right.
I would think.
There's a lot of wealth in this community. So they make I'm just asking people to make a special effort to go to the store and find something that they think would be a treat, because we get the bare bones type of ingredients from the food depository, like we'll get our canned goods, we'll get tuna, peanut butter and jelly. But, we don't get things like crackers. We don't get sweet cereal, cake mixes, 5-pound bags of sugar.
Kids have birthdays. There's things that and the mom wants to still give the kid a birthday.
So we like to be able to give them something special, especially during the holiday seasons.
Right.
And then kind of leading into that too is we do have a Thanksgiving turkey giveaway and a Christmas ham giveaway for the patrons that use the food pantry, and that's coming up. I think I'm not sure what day the Christmas distribution is. I have to get back to you on that, but pretty sure the Thanksgiving distribution is the 23rd. They're always on Saturdays, right before the holiday.
John, it's good work what you guys are doing over at the food pantry. I appreciate you coming down here and visiting with me.
I really appreciate you asking us.
Well, I think I want to keep in touch, especially through this season, but all year long, because you guys are doing good work over there.
Yeah.
I want to do whatever we can to help out over there. So you and I will have to have a discussion when we're off of this thing and see what we can do. But I definitely would love to have you back sometime, and I definitely want to keep track of all the different events. You ever need to announce anything, come to us.
Okay. Thanks,
let
Chris,
me
much.
do that. Okay.
I really appreciate you.
I want anything that we can do, and good luck. Okay, because I know it's difficult out there, and this is going to be a busy season for you because you're going to get all these donations. But it's a good thing, and hopefully people that are listening to this who may never have thought, like, I didn't realize this is a problem, that 2 or 3 people on my block, 2 or 3 households on my block are most likely in need, and they're waving to me, and I don't even realize it, and I can help them out. I think this is definitely something that hopefully people will say, yeah, let's get some more food in the food pantry.
Thanks very much. I really appreciate you.
The world is fast and busy. Sometimes you got to get down to your speed. And the place to lower your speed and relax in Evergreen Park is at the Red Palm. Maybe your speed is wine on a Wednesday with your friends for Wine Down Wednesday. Maybe turtle races and Queen of Hearts on Thursday nights is more your speed. Each and every night, though, at the Red Palm, you get a little island attitude at a local latitude. When you walk into the Red Palm, it's like walking into an island bar, but right in Evergreen Park, with a menu like no other created by Chef Mario and cooked in a beautiful wood fire oven. Unique tastes, comfort foods, and honestly, the best wings you're gonna find anywhere. Have a tropical drink, a craft beer, a glass of wine, or share a bucket of lights with your friends. Watch the game on one of the many flat screen TVs over the top of their bar or out on the patio. The Red Palm at 3020 West 95th Street. Island attitude, local latitude. Hannah, my wife, my lovely wife Erica, is down here wearing the headset at the bar. How do you like that?
Why do you have to tell people about this?
I have a guest headset now.
It's like the shame headset.
The shame headset.
It's like the cone.
We give that to people who don't talk loud enough. We put the headset on them. Okay, so she has lost a ton of weight.
Yes.
I have lost some weight as well doing this keto diet. The one thing you guys are doing different from me, though, is you're working out. Like
Yes.
a lot.
Erica's
You're like
working out
workout
a whole
twins.
lot.
Workout twins. And you came in this morning just all excited about the one that you did.
Yeah.
And I was like, well,
yeah.
I got to put them on because it's kind of funny. So, okay, so what was the one that you did this morning?
We just did a mat Pilates class. We've always done the reformer classes with
Over at Core Fitness
at
and
Core
Physical
Fitness,
Therapy?
yes.
Okay.
We've always done the reformer machine, so we gave the mat class a try, and it was a lot harder, a lot more challenging. But, it would be something really hard. I mean,
How can
Erica,
being on a mat be challenging?
because you're
Like, it seems to me like this is the kind of exercise I would want to do where I
so
don't do a
imagine
lot.
you're laying on your back, and then you need to lift your legs straight up in the air, and then also roll your stomach up, so your shoulders and your neck and your head are off the mat, and your feet are up in the air off the mat, and you're just doing holding like a crunch position for like 30 seconds.
All
And then
right.
they make you like lift your legs back and forth
Yeah.
or point them to the ceiling and then pull them out.
Was it all girls at this one this morning?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's all
Most
women.
of the time it's all women.
Oh,
Yeah.
women about your age?
All ages.
All ages.
All ages?
Yeah.
Do you find it like you're trying to keep up with the young ones or what?
Some of the-
I feel like we are the young ones.
Every time she's on, I can't help myself. The look at her face, she's like, did he just call me old? That's exactly what she just gave me. Core Fitness and Physical Therapy, 2940 95th Street in Evergreen Park. Give them a call, 708-422-0990. Erica and Hannah seem to enjoy it.
we love it.
We do.
Been a while since he's been down here, but I'm glad he's here. Bill Sanderson from the Evergreen Park High School. He's the principal. And you got big stuff coming up here now because it's fall. And once again, there's an entire class of 8th grade students in all the different schools in Evergreen Park that have to make a decision about where they're going to high school, right? So you guys are busy.
We're excited. This is a big time for us. There are a lot of great things going on. Not only are we looking forward to the next class of 2024, but we're also a lot of exciting things going on in our facilities. We're in the process of putting in a new turf, baseball and softball stadiums that'll start this spring. Our facilities, last year we put in a brand new state-of-the-art library or LRC, full of technology, makerspace, student space for group work. So there's a lot of good things going on. For us academically, we just received our school report card and received a commendable rating, second highest rating in the state of Illinois, and we're closing in on becoming one of the top 10% schools in the state of Illinois.
That's big news. I think communities do best when their schools are good. So that's a good thing to hear of what's going on with the high school that serves Evergreen Park.
Yeah, and one of our goals, this is my 12th year serving the community as principal, and I can see how it's evolved in the way we've approached reaching out to our community. One of our new focuses is to try and get every 8th grader, every high school bound student in Evergreen Park to attend Evergreen Park. And I think the more that we can do to attract them and the more that we can get them into our building to see what's going on and let them see all the great things we have to offer. We have an open house coming up, which is Wednesday, November 13th. 6:30 to 7 o'clock is our activities and athletic fair, and this is for any 7th or 8th graders. And then from 7 to 8 o'clock, we'll have a building tour and presentations.
Is this for the kids and the parents? Because I'm doing all this now. I have an 8th grader. So we're doing all this, which has been it's been interesting and it's been fun, and it's very different for my wife, who grew up in a small town. Everybody went to the same high school. There wasn't even a choice. So she's like amazed by this. Like, it's like, okay, we're going to go check out this school. And okay, we're going to go check out this school. And she's like, I didn't get a choice. I just went someplace. So, so this is like the parents go to this, right?
This is designated for the parents and the students. Certainly the students can come along with other friends or other parents, but the goal is to get the parents and students involved so they hear the same message that we have. That Saturday then on November 16th will be our 8th grade placement test for the private school students. For our central school students, Central Middle School, we've already gone over there and they've taken the placement test. So anybody who missed the placement test or currently attends a private school and is an Evergreen Park resident, that test will be set up for them on November 16th, Saturday.
And the one thing that I've learned throughout this entire process is that my daughter can take your placement test and also take, if she is still on the fence, she can take a private school test as well. There's no rule against that. And then still has the chance to choose between that private school and you guys.
Right. Our test is on a separate date. And there is a difference between our test and the private school test. And the difference is ours is a placement test. Theirs is a test in order to get in or not.
Right, because you might not even make it in.
Yes.
Right, okay.
So in ours is for nothing. Any Evergreen Park resident may take the test. It's free cost. I know the private schools charge a cost as well to take their test. So we encourage students who are on the fence, because what happens many times is come March, April, May, they make that decision to attend Evergreen Park. They haven't taken a placement test. Now they are at risk of not getting the courses or the opportunities that they want to take freshman year.
So yeah, and in reality, I mean, the way I'm picturing it, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, if she goes and takes the thing on the 16th, on November 16th here, and she still continues and goes and takes her one at, I think she's going to end up going over to Macaulay and taking theirs is what her choice is. She's going to do both of them right now. Okay, so that's where we're at as a family. We're right in that range. So she's then going to, what happens afterwards for her? Because she's going to get, I'm assuming she's not to brag about my kid, but she generally ends up as the highest GPA in her class or one of the top two, like every time that they put out their thing. So I'm expecting her to make it into Macaulay and have no problem with your placement test. So then what happens over the next couple of months? She starts to find out like what kind of classes she would get at Evergreen. So while she's still making the choice, she's getting more of a picture of what her first year is going to be like.
So that's a great question. So in December, she'd take the entrance exam at Macaulay, if that's her choice.
Right.
In late January and February, we'll have registration days for our incoming freshmen. At that point, they'll get a copy of their placement exam, and we'll go through what their freshman year schedule would look like. We'll give them the required courses. We'll lay out a 4-year plan for them, and we'll also talk about what elective options or choices based on their current career goals or what they believe their career goals are to be in the future.
All right, so November 16th is the big day, and the 13th is the open house. And before I let you get out of here, I do want to ask you about this. You're mentioning this to me before you sat down. You guys are making a big move, right? You got with the Evergreen Park Racket Club. Can you talk about that on the show? Okay.
Yeah, the school board has approved the acquisition of the Evergreen Racket and Tennis Club, and that's in the process right now. And that's our Evergreen Park School Board.
Okay, so you guys are going to purchase that. It will become a high school facility. But I would assume, think about it this way, the way that I'm picturing this, and correct me if I'm wrong, like whenever I give a hard time to the recreation department about why there is no pool at one of these parks, they go, no, our pool is a high school. Everybody has access to that even though it's in the high school. So are people going to still have access to the facilities over at the Racket Club? Do you even know that at this point after this purchase happens?
Because it's so new, my answer is going to be just like our other facilities, our new softball and baseball stadium, our pool. There is going to be opportunities for the community, whether it's their students or the community at large. It's going to take some time how it's going to look, but absolutely the goal is to have opportunities for our community members to use our facilities.
Look at this. I got some breaking news on a podcast. Who would have thought?
Yeah, see? Bright and early on a Friday morning, we're giving you something hot off the press.
All right, that's Bill Sanderson. Remember, on the 13th, you have the open house. And then on the 16th, make sure your kid heads over and does the placement exam. Bill, I appreciate you coming by. You're welcome anytime.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Companies that offer insurance at low prices may not cover what you need, just what you paid for. Cutting your auto insurance coverage could end up costing you thousands in the end. Mike Thauer at Country Financial offers what cut-rate insurers cannot: peace of mind. Mike's a lifelong resident of Evergreen Park, with his offices right at 3923 West 95th Street in the EP. Mike has policies that stand up to life's challenges and protect what you value most. He'll help you make a smart decision, not a costly one. Call Mike Thauer, your local country insurance representative, 708-425-15 859 and protect what matters most. Policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, or Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Joined down here at my 9-foot homemade oak bar in my basement in Evergreen Park by a brand new member of the Chamber of Commerce, the new member services coordinator. I've met her a few times and I was like, I need to introduce her to all of Evergreen Park. Kelly Maroney is down here. How are you, Kelly?
I'm very good. Thank you.
I appreciate you coming by. You hit the ground running because you just got this. When did you start at the Chamber?
I started in July and yeah, it's been pretty nonstop since July.
What have you, because you've introduced a few things so far already that we didn't do before. What kind of take us through some of the things that you did in the first month or so?
Yeah, so when I first started, Nikki had asked me to start working right away on the mayor's luncheon, and that's something that they've always done. So that was very fun to plan that and participate in that. And then directly after that, at our last chamber meeting, we had talked to some of the members and they wanted trick-or-treaters. So we started the first annual Halloween stroll, and that was on Halloween, and the weather didn't really cooperate with us. But
no, it didn't. Didn't cooperate with anybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, that was the weirdest Halloween ever. I'm standing there talking to my kids going, I'm going to sound like an old man right now, but in 42 years on this earth, I've never seen a Halloween like that. That had to be rough for your first big event that you were going to do. How did it go?
Yeah, it went well. We were out on the street on the stroll, and I saw lots of families going in and out of businesses, and that's what we wanted. I got some feedback from the businesses that they had more trick-or-treaters than in the past. So,
that's good.
So yeah, I
That's
think it went well for the
good.
first time.
That's awesome. Okay, so what are the big plans now? You must have gotten in here. Like, I know when I would come into a new radio station, I would sit down and I would take a look at the community that I was in, and I'd just start jotting notes. Like, we could do this. We could do this. Oh, this is a great. So you must. I'm imagining you have like that kind of brain for the job that you do. Am I correct?
Yes. Yeah. I do like that creative.
Like,
aspect.
You sit there, you start throwing stuff at the wall with yourself. Like, oh, we could do this fun thing and this fun thing. We could introduce this. So what are we kind of looking at here coming up?
Yeah. So right now, now that Halloween's over, I know everybody is kind of on like a candy craze.
I had to tell my kids already. I'm like, you can't just eat all the candy. Like, it was cool on Halloween. We're back to like, you only get so many sweets like in a given day.
Back to reality.
And they looked at me like I was the worst.
Yes. So the best way I feel like to handle that is get the candy out. Okay, so the Chamber is hosting a candy collection for the first time. We are working with Operation Gratitude.
Okay.
So we are collecting everyone's leftover and unwanted candy. So all that candy that you went through and you don't like, the Smarties, or you don't like the Kit Kats.
Who doesn't like Smarties and Kit Kats? Pick
I'm
something
not a fan
else.
of Smarties.
Almond
I like
Joys.
Kit Kats,
I don't like Almond Joys. I hate
Okay.
coconuts. So Mounds and Almond Joys. People are always like, those are the best. I hate them. Okay. So I will be dropping those off.
Okay, so give me all your Almond Joys. Well, don't give them to me, but bring them to, we have 3 drop-off locations. It's at Well Now on 95th and Western, Dr. Haskins on Kedzie, and Marquette Bank on 93rd and Kedzie.
Awesome. That's very, very
So
cool.
that is from today through November 7th.
Okay.
Okay, so then we have our monthly meetings.
Okay.
So on November 5th, this Tuesday, we have our meeting at 8:30 at the library. So anybody is welcome to come and hear about our upcoming plans or give us some feedback.
So if you're not a member of the chamber, can you go to those meetings? Like, can the public show up to them and kind of like see what's going on with the businesses and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I've been to a meeting or two.
I know.
sit
We'd
in the
like to
back.
see you more often.
I try to stay in the background. Everybody's looking at me like, who's this guy?
Oh, no.
Because I'm one of those few businesses in Evergreen Park where the guy shows up wearing a baseball cap and his jeans.
That's
Who
okay.
is this joker? Like, they're all like the important businessmen and women of Evergreen Park, and I walk in my jeans and my baseball cap and sit down in the back. So
hey, every business is a business, whether you wear a hat or not. We welcome them all.
And big plans, I would think. Anything going on for the holidays here?
Yes. So then we are starting to plan our Shop Local celebrations. And that's going to kick off on November 30th, Small Business Saturday.
Okay.
We have some things in the works for that. So stay tuned. You can go to our website, evergreenparkchamber.org, and you can sign up for our biweekly newsletter to be informed about things that are coming up for Christmas and Shop Local. We're going to have a Shop Local contest and do lots of giveaways. So
it's an interesting group when you start to meet all the people that have businesses in Evergreen Park. I mean, but they really do care about their business in Evergreen. I've noticed that it's really like, yeah, I'm here in Evergreen. I want things to benefit Evergreen Park. Do you feel like you see the same thing?
I definitely do. Yes, we do have a great business community. We have great residents. I feel like we all work together very well. And like you said, like businesses are willing to give back to the community and do whatever it takes for them to be successful as well as the community be successful.
All right, Kelly Maroney from the Evergreen Park Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to your new position here in the EP. I'm excited about some of the stuff I've seen you do, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the Chamber is going to be doing over the next couple of months.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Another show isn't wrapped up. Another show's in the books. Another show isn't wrapped up. And then by the looks, it's going to be a good one. And we'll see you next week. And the nude is basement. And the nude is basement. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And it's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And by the looks, it's gonna be a good one. Nudie's Basement. Broadcast Basement. The Nudie's Basement. The Broad Basement. Slancha.
Does your financial advisor actually take time to listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation changes? Why worry about those things when Tom Walsh is nearby? He's your local Edward Jones financial advisor. He works with you, focusing on what's important to you. He uses an established process to create personalized financial strategy, and he partners with you to help your strategy stay on track. Listen, families in South Chicagoland have been benefiting from Tom's get-to-know-you approach and do the right thing values for over 18 years. Contact my close personal friend and also a fellow Brother Rice alumni, Tom Walsh. He's your local Edward Jones advisor, located in Mount Greenwood, right outside of the EP at 111th and Kedzie. Member SIPC.
The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at the eppodcast.com.